Okay guys, I'm going to start with a diagram, so I'm a visual person. So here's our peaks, oops, I apologize, our hills and our valleys, so our peaks, hills, valleys. So that's a valley, hill. So to go up a hill into the valley, there's 19 in every one, 19. So you do your batches of 19, however wide you want your Afghan to be. So you do 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, whatever. And then when you get to the end, plus 5. That is for the ending, and then the chain 3 at the beginning for the chain 3 counts as the double crochet. So let me show you what I mean, why it's 19, 19, 19, and then 5. And this is my pattern, so love it or leave it, I guess is my thought, my theory. Okay, let's start. So you are going to need yarn, obviously, and I started with black, and then I went to my darkest blue, and I have, let me just put it up here, so wrong end, and that's my working end. So I started with black. Let me zoom out so you can see what I mean here. So I start with black, and there's 2 rows of every color. So I started with black, and then I went to my darkest color of blue, or your darkest color that you're choosing to make, and you don't have to do it in varying shades of that color. This is what I chose to do because I wanted to make the one that I saw on TV. So I did the darkest blue, then so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 shades of blue, and then I went to white just to break it up in your eye. That's what she did as well. I thought it was a perfect breaking point, and then you start over with your black again. So there's 1 or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 rows before you start over. So 12, and then it repeats. So you could do it any way you want. You know, you could be like a 3 and then a repeat. It just depends on how short you want it to look in your eye, basically, when you're looking at it. So here we go with our tutorial. So you'll need scissors. You'll need an eye crochet hook, 5.5 millimeter. Okay, so I have my 2 sets of 19 plus 5. So we're gonna do a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. Let me come closer so you can see what I'm doing. Not too close. Okay, so 4th chain from hook. So there's our 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th chain from the hook. So we're going to do a double crochet into that stitch there. So with our chain 3 and our next double crochet, that puts 2 stitches into that 1 stitch. So then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip 3. So 1, 2, 3, we're going to skip, and we're going to go into that 4th chain and do 2 double crochets. And we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip 3, and we're going to go into the 4th and do 2 double crochets. And this is where it changes, so don't go ahead. You are going to want to chain 2, but let me stop you here. So when you're doing this, you're always going to have 2 sets going up the hill and 2 sets going down to the valley. So this is the peak. And so it's a shell stitch, so you do 2 double crochets, you chain 2, and you do 2 double crochets back into that same stitch. And then I'll show you why you do that, how beautifily it will want to come down. See how it goes up? And then it wants to come down. That's exactly what we want it to do. So then we're going to repeat what we just did a moment ago. So chain 2, skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, go into your 4th, and do 2 double crochets, chain 2. So this will be our 2nd set. Skip 3, go into the 4th. This is the bottom of the peak now. So here is where, so it changed up there after you did your 2, and it changes down here. So you got your 2nd one there, And you aren't going to want to do any chains here because we're going to the bottom and going back up now. So what you're going to do, instead of chaining 2 up here, you're going to skip 2 stitches down here and go into the 3rd and do 2 double crochets down here. And it won't look like much on this first row because it looks pretty flat, but what it's doing is it's going to go like that, and I will point out the valley on my Afghan. So they're going to chain 2, skip 3, and go into the 4th and do 2 double crochets. And that's our second one going up the hill, because there's the valley on the one side, and that would be 1, 2 going up the hill to go ahead and go to the peak. So chain 2, and we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, go into the 4th and do 2, and this is the peak or the shell stitch. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Now we're going back down the other side. So chain 2, and then skip 3 and whoops, 2 double crochet in that 4th stitch. And then chain 2 and skip 3 and 2 double crochet here. And this is the ending, as you can see, of my chains. So what you do here is going to be different. You're going to do the same throughout, but when you get to the end of your row, this is where it's going to change up a little bit. Let me show you on the Afghan. So I've done all, let me zoom out, I've done all of my work, and I got to the end and I did the 2 here, which is the 2 here, right there, 1, 2, and then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip 3 stitches and go into the 4th stitch, and that makes a nice ending toward this side is straight. So we just got done with that, so we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip 3 stitches and go into that last stitch. Whoops, sorry. Chain 2, and this is our last stitch, which will be your last stitch on your starting chain row as well, and you're going to do 1 double crochet right here, but you only want to start the double crochet. You don't want to chain over or yarn over and pull through. This is where you want to change your colors. So I'm going to grab some white. So we've done our chains. We use our turning chain, and you're going to want to yarn over. Let me zoom in a little bit, but not too much, so you can see. So yarn over like you're going to do a double crochet. So you're going to skip this whole thing, and you're going to skip these 2 right here. You're going to yarn over, and you're going to see more double crochets down here, but for that first row, you are going to yarn over and go into the 3rd chain. Let me bring it up to the camera, or the 2nd chain, excuse me. Yarn over, and you're going to go into the 2nd skipped chain of that 2nd space. So there's a 2nd skip chain, because there's the first one. You're going to go into that skipped chain. So yarn over and go into that 2nd skip chain and go over here, and you'll want it to cinch it down like this. Don't yank on it, but it's okay if it pulls on it, because that's what we want it to do. And do a regular double crochet, and then do another one in there, just like that, and chain 2. And then you're going to do the same thing here. So you're going to skip this one. We're going to continue as normal now. So we're going to skip this one. Let me zoom back in now that I've showed you that. Skip this one and go into here and do 2 double crochets. Some of the white. 1 and 2 and chain 2. And we're skipping 3, so you know when you've done your 2, you're going to go into this space up here at the top of the peak. So we're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in that space, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the space, and you can kind of see it starting to form. there, and we chain 2 and go into that second one again and do 2 double crochet. So you're going into the row beneath the row that you are on. Okay, chain 2, pull some more yarn, and do that second one here. Oops, sorry, out of the camera. And then we're going to chain 2. So now we have 2. We're going down to that bottom of the valley now. So at the bottom of the valley, you are going, let me show you here on a sample of my, on my actual Afghan. Okay, let me turn it because it kind of got crumpled a bit. Turn it this way and zoom out. Okay. So basically what we're doing here, we're going this way. Hopefully you can see. Let me move that so the white table's behind it. You can get a clear shot of what I'm trying to say. So we just did our peak right here. And so we just did these two right here. And so now we're not going to chain, but we're going to go into that next space. So there's that opening, and it creates that open pocket here. So we did our chain 2, and we're going to go into here and continue. So we're going to skip this, and we're going to go into here. Let me zoom back in and move the Afghan while I bop the camera. And we're going to go into the second space here. It makes more sense on the third row, because on the first row, you're just basically kind of going into that starting chain, which is kind of confusing. Hold on, that doesn't look right. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it does. It looks right. It looks weird at first. You're like, oh no, there's a bubble. And that's what just threw me. But it's okay. Don't panic. Chain 2. And we're going to go into the second one here and do 2 double crochets. About the 5th row is when it really starts to take shape. Chain 2 going to the peak. Let's do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in that same space. Sorry, I'm going faster because it's repeat, chain 2. So we're going to go into that second chain here and do our 2 double crochets. I will go back to pink and do a 3rd row just so you can understand completely, show you the color change again. I won't be going back to pink because I'm doing 2 rows of every color. So I'll do another row in white, chain 2, and they're going to go into that second chain here. And do 2 double crochet, chain 2, and we're skipping, and we're going to go into that last, the top of the chain 3, which is kind of hard to see. It's right there, right there. You want to pick up both the loops. Make sure, and every time you're doing this, I probably should have said this a lot earlier. I apologize. Just keep in mind now. You always want to pick up both the loops, the front and the back loop. You should know this. This is not for beginners, because I'm not showing you how to do a double crochet, but you want to pick up both loops of your double crochet. So you do you do 1 double crochet there, chain 3. We're not changing colors, so we're just going to turn it here. And it's kind of squished on that first one, but it will unsquish, don't worry. So we're skipped. So now you see 3 holes. Panic! No, don't panic. Skip the first hole, skip the first set. We're going to go into that second chain. Now, an easier way from the third row on is just go into the top of the second double crochet, which is right here. Also, it's the second chain. 1, 2. So we're going into that top of the second double crochet and doing 2 double crochets. Chain 2, and we're going to go over here to the second one and do 2 double crochets, Maybe I'll slow down on the next one so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Chain 2, we're at the peak, so I don't need to slow down because it's 2 double crochets. Chain 2, 2 double crochets, same stitch. Chain 2. So into the top of the next double crochet of the row below, into here. Chain 2. Yarn. So into the top of that double crochet of the next space of the row below. 2 double crochet, chain 2. Now we're at the valley. So now it's starting to make a little more sense here, I hope. Oh, look what I did. I did a chain 2 there. And I have to rip it out. Pausing here. Okay, so we've done our 2 sets there, and we're at the bottom now of the valley. So we don't chain here, but we skip 2 and go into the top of, no, I'm saying like I'm talking about the double chain, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we've done our 2 sets here after the shell. And this is the area where the bottom of the V or the valley, and we're going to skip that. And we're not going to chain, and we're going to go into the second chain of the next space here. So basically, if you look at it, I'll throw one more curveball at you. This chain, the beginning chain, is considered the row below because we're normally working into here, right? And we do that on the end and on the beginning, kind of, but we're working on the row below. So that will make more sense on the next row, and I will show you more what I mean there. So the reason we didn't do any chains there again is to pull that together, and that kind of wants to bunch there for a minute, but don't worry, don't panic, it's supposed to do that, because you want this to be close together. And I always kind of give that a little bit of a cinch there after I finished that second set of the V. So we're going up the other side. So now we can do our chain 2 and go into the second chain there and do 2 double crochets. Chain 2. Now we're going into the top. So we can do 2 double crochets. Chain 2, 2 double crochets in the same space, which is the shell. And now we're going to chain 2, go back down the other side. So we're just repeating, we're going to that second space. I had done a row and then messed up and had to undo and go and fix it. Okay, so we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, go to the next space, go into that second one there, 2 double crochets. And then you're going to come to the end, you're going to chain 2. You're going to come to the end, you're going to see the space and go, oh no, I messed something up. No, you didn't. You did nothing wrong. So we're going to go into the top of the chain 3. So there's 1, 2, 3 of that turning chain. So we're going to do 1 double crochet into the top of that turning chain. And make sure you don't do like this and pick up 1 stitch. You want to pick up both loops, the front, the front and the back loop of the turning chain. Sometimes I have to get one on and then the other. Okay, so there's the front and the back loop right there of the turning chain. I hope you can see that. Yes. Okay, so we do 1 double crochet here. And the reason that we do 1 is so because we want it to come up straight up that side and we don't want it to go blop over. So we're going to do chain 3 because it's our turning chain, and we're going to turn it. So we're going to chain 2, and on this row is where we're going to go onto the row beneath, and you see the second double crochet in the second space. We're going to go into the top of that second double crochet. So you don't have to count anymore, just eye it and go into the top. You could do 2 double crochets in the top. Let me zoom in. That double crochet. And we're going to chain 2. And we're going to look for the top of that next double crochet opening space there. And do 2 double crochets there. And we're at the shell or the peak. So we do 2 double crochets in that space right there. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the same space. And that forms a really nice peak. Okay, so in the next space, look for the row beneath and that second double crochet, go into the top of it and do the 2 double crochets. Chain 2 into the top, do 2, chain 2, and now we're at the valley. So at the valley, we don't want to do anything around these stitches. So we are going to, whoops, I chained 2 again. I did that in the last one. I had to undo it. I'm so sorry. So when you come down the valley and you have 2 sets, don't chain. Ignore what I just said. Okay, so you're going to double crochet, but we're going to skip all the way over here. So go past the valley, which there's 2 sides to the valley, just like on the row before. 2 sides of the valley. We're going to look for that second double crochet on the row beneath over here. So we're going to do 2 double crochets in there, and I will show you how cool this looks. Let me do a little bit more so it lays flat. So chain 2, look for the second double crochet, and do 2 there. Let me just finish it. Chain 2, go into the peak space. Oops. 2 double crochets, pick up my drop stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochets, chain 2, get some more yarn, and then we're going for that second one, and you'll get to where you don't even have to like really, I mean you're looking for it, but it's repetitive. So go into there. Okay, so now you keep doing that through your whole Afghan. And we're going to pretend this is really long and wide. Okay, so now you're at the end of your Afghan, at the end where you changed from the pink to the white. Okay, so you're 2 at the end here, and you're going to chain 2. So this is where you're going to change colors, because you did 2 rows of the white. So see where the colors meet? So you're going to do a double crochet right into the top of that. So just pick up these 2 loops and start your double crochet where you start it like this, but you don't finish it because you're changing colors again. And then I will change back to white or yellow, pink. Oh my goodness, it's late. And finish that double crochet with a new color. Drop the tail, chain 3, 2 and 3, and pull on the white to cinch that down. Turn it. So remember, let me zoom out a little bit, don't panic when you turn. When you're at the end, you're going to see 3 spaces. So we're going to double crochet in the top of this space here. We're going to skip this, go into the second one, into the top of the second. So we're going to go into there, like that, chain 2. And turn, and then you just continue on in that manner. So let me zoom out, move the toothbrush, and lay it out for you, and you can see it taking shape. See, by the 3rd color change, I think I said 3rd row, but by the 3rd color change you can really see it start to take shape, and it's really, really neat. So let me lay out my Afghan again, and I can point out this part right here, the bottom of the V, and just show you what I mean. Okay, so I've laid it out, only half of it, because the other half isn't fitting, so it's not bad. But as you can see, it's just a dramatic look. And to me, it looks exactly like Mary's. It probably isn't, but it's my version of Mary's beautiful Afghan. which, by the way, on the last episode, she sold for $75. I was like, oh, I wish I was there, so would have bought it. But I wouldn't have paid her so cheaply. That's my opinion, because handwork takes a long time. So I am, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I'm on my 4th row, and I'm only on the first of the last colors, and then I go to white, and then black again to change it. But, there's my beautiful feet. But then you can see how it just really looks good. So let me open up my tripod so I can point out a couple of features to you. Sorry, because now you can see the tripod leg, but you should still be able to see what I'm going to talk about. Okay, beautiful. I love cameras. Okay, so right here, that is the peak. So you see how the next color looks easier here. You can see how you're going to the top of that peak. You're doing the two double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, so it forms the top of the peak. Right here, let's go into the blue again, is the valley. So you see how you're doing the 2, and then you're skipping over 2, and then you're going 2 up, and that creates the valley. So that is how you make my rendition of Mary's beautiful Afghan quilt on Breaking Amish. And I really, really hope that you have enjoyed this complete video. And if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any other things, colors you've done in this, and you want to show me, I would love to see your colors. I already have ideas for what I want to do for my next 3. Yeah, so we'll see. This has taken me about 2 weeks so far. So not too bad, not too shabby. I mean, I can do a row of which is 2 colors, so 2 rows in about 20 minutes. So if I worked at it continuously, it'd get done pretty fast, but I have a life to lead. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you liked it. Please, please, please give it a thumbs up, like it, and share it, and comment below. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.